Hello, everyone. It's J9, and I wanted to make this video today based on a recent discovery about myself that I've really been thinking about, and that I realized that a lot of people actually go through. Um, so I have I've had a very traumatic childhood. I got physically abused and verbally abused. So with that trauma came a lot of psychological issues. And recently, so far as like maybe a year or two ago, I was diagnosed as having bipolar disorder. So they say. Um, and just recently, I've been really talking to myself and trying to figure out why I feel certain ways that I do. And something told me the other night to look up in Google dissociative um, dissociative disorder or something like that, and like how to cure it. Because I'm like, okay, not only am I supposed to have bipolar disorder, but I think that I also dissociate myself from this reality. And that was a learned behavior because of the physical trauma that I went through in my childhood. Um, but the thought was like, no, look up what it is. And then looking up what it is, I found out that there's also something called depersonalization and derealization. Now, they're two different things, but they're also one and the same. Like, one of them, you can look at yourself and not really recognize yourself, like, in the mirror. And another one is like you don't feel connected to your reality and your surroundings. And then dissociation is like the umbrella that fits everything together. But I did some research and I found out what symptoms that these things come with. So with depersonalization, you have feelings of disconnection from your body or thoughts, and a disconnection to feelings, a disconnection from feelings and from your surroundings. And then some of the symptoms are you have out of body experiences. Um, you feel like parts of your body are not yours, like they're not real. You have a sense of detachment from your emotions, feeling like you are watching a movie of yourself, feeling like you are unreal. You are like an outside observer of your thoughts, feelings, your body parts, or parts of your body, floating in the air above yourself. You may feel like that too. Emotional or physical numbness of your senses, or responses to the world around you, in a sense that your memories lack emotion and that they may or may not be your own memories. So that's depersonalization. Derealization is more of a disconnect from your surroundings and the people in your surroundings. So symptoms of derealization are feelings of being alienated from or unfamiliar with your surroundings, perhaps like you're living in a movie. Feeling emotionally disconnected from people you care about, as if you were separated by a glass wall. Surroundings that appear distorted, blurry, colorless, two-dimensional, or artificial, or a heightened awareness and clarity of your surroundings. Distortions in perception of time / recent events feeling like distant past. So those are just some of the things that I found out and looked up when when I was looking it up for myself personally, and with my personal experience, um, I always felt very detached from everything and everyone. Uh, I always felt like my reality wasn't real, that people weren't real. Um, I would feel the floating above myself feeling, like I'm in myself, but there's also another part of me like hovering over me. And it would be a really, really weird feeling. And then what made me really realize it was an ex boyfriend of mine hit me up recently. And he was talking about all of these experiences that we had together. And I did not remember them at all. Like, no matter how much description, no matter how many details, I did not remember these situations, and it made me think, like, was I even there? Like, why would I not remember? It wasn't a traumatizing experience, but I had gone through trauma in my childhood, and I read that when you go through the trauma, those habits that you've picked up to survive or to cope, they get carried with you in your adult life, and you may deal with things by taking yourself out of the situation mentally, and sometimes physically. Um, but it made me think about a lot of things, about how certain situations I felt like I was in a video game. Like, this is a movie, this is not real. Like, why are people acting so fake? Like, I would be looking at everybody and everything like, this is so weird. And it would be so weird because you start to get a feeling like what's real and what's not. In my dream world, my spiritual experiences feel more real than the experiences that I have in this dense plane. So, I could say that I'm mentally ill, okay? To Western psychologists and psychiatrists, I have bipolar disorder and I have dissociative disorder. To a person that's connected to spirit, I'm a shaman and I have shamanistic abilities. I'm in between worlds constantly. So, which one do you listen to? Which one do you pursue? Now, I am not all. I know that I still physically have a body and that I still physically live here on this earth. And I know that there are things that come with the physical body that may throw some things off and make some things imbalanced, like your thyroid or your hormones may be a factor as to mood swings or all this hypersensitive activity and overstimulation and stress and anxiety. um so I do not dismiss those things, but to take medication for it, I personally am not, like, I'm not cool with that, because I've taken the medication before, and to be quite frank, it makes me feel like more of a zombie. So now I could say that when I dissociate myself, I take myself out of my physical body, because when I was traumatized as a child and I went through that physical abuse, I had nowhere to go, so I had to create a place to go. in my mind, and sometimes to just completely leave my body. So I know how to leave my body, right? Now, I've also been looking up things related to spiritual awakenings and false spiritual awakenings and things like that. Now, I have experienced things where I just found out in like Buddhism. I forget what it's called. I think like Satori or something like that, where you're meditating and you see the morning star. I have seen that before. Like I've seen it before. I've experienced these things that Buddhism talks about, but then there's information out there that says that my experiences could be false, that they could not be real. So I don't really know. I'm kind of in like a weird spot right now as to like, am I really deeply spiritually connected, or am I just completely off my rocker and out of my mind? Which I don't believe that I'm just completely out of my mind, because I do have dreams, psychic dreams, where the things actually manifest in physical reality, or I'll see things before they happen. So I definitely have psychic and also mediumistic abilities, because I've tested this shit out before. It's happened to me while I'm at work. Randomly, I'll hear voices in my head, which people will say that that is completely crazy. And being known as having a mental illness, hearing voices in my head is not, like, that's not good. But when the voices in your head talk to you about an individual that you know that's not yourself, and that are, the voices are not telling you to harm a person, or even the voices are telling you things about yourself to improve yourself and your life, your lifestyle, then you have to wonder, is this crazy? Or am I just very, very sensitive to energy, and I may download it in a hectic, chaotic way, or I may be receiving it in a hectic, chaotic way to where I can't process it all to make it orderly and make it make sense. So maybe it's like all over the place. I've also been told when giving readings that I have so much energy, but the energy is just like pew, 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 like it's all over the place. So I have to wonder about these things, because I know things about people that I'm not supposed to know. I feel things about people that I'm not supposed to feel, and I will be correct about these things. Okay, so there's definitely there definitely could be an imbalance in my chemical makeup in my physical body, but my spiritual being is very much awake, very much alive, and I'm very much connected to the spiritual being. Now, people who channel, or people who go into trance or things like that, they have to remove themselves, their consciousness, they have to remove themselves from their physical body, and then another consciousness comes through to speak and give transmissions, relay messages, do automatic writing, whatever, and stuff like that. And that now I can naturally do that because of trauma that happened to me. So a seemingly bad situation can turn into something good, but right now it is not benefiting me in a positive way, because I don't fully understand exactly what I'm doing when I totally detach myself from the self and I become the not self. I am just now consciousness interconnected with the all. Okay, a thought in the mind of the creator. Okay, a thought of many thoughts in the mind of creators. So, and in spirit. So I'm kind of like in limbo with these things. And then for the people who don't understand, like my family and my friends who I'm just so distant from and so detached from, it makes me look like I'm withdrawn, or I am like self-loathing, or I am wanting to be in isolation and things like that. But the truth is, I really do not feel attached to you. Like, I really don't. And maybe there are parts of in shamanism, they have things called soul retrieval, where they go receive fragments or retrieve fragments of your soul to bring you back into an integrated whole person. Because right now I feel like I could use this gift that I have in a positive way to maybe connect with the other side beyond the veil, to either have mediumistic abilities or to be a channel from for higher consciousness to come in and relay messages to people. But right now, I don't feel connected to myself. And sometimes that could be a good thing, and sometimes that could be a bad thing, because it's like, how many situations have I been in my life? How many decisions have I made where I was not there? Who made the decisions? And I've got myself in a lot of shit, I feel like, and in shitty situations because of the choices that I made. But did I really make the choices? Was I fully there to make these choices? And that is kind of scary. It's kind of scary. I mean, people spend their whole lives learning how to detach from the self or the ego, which is the self that is made up from society and everything that society feeds you. When it happens to me automatically, okay, I don't have to think about, okay, today I want to detach from myself and I want to experience life just without any judgments, without any preconceived notions, without any misconceptions. I just want to experience life just as the consciousness of Janine, and the consciousness that is interconnected with spirit and with the all. I would like to do that, but it doesn't quite happen like that. So, yeah, this video is about 18 minutes, and I'm going to cut it off. I just wanted to share my experiences and my thoughts with the situation that I'm going through currently. I'm always open about things that I go through because I know that other people are going through them as well, and other people have the same thoughts as me, and other people have researched the same things that I do. So I always talk about these things, and I'm never ashamed to be open and honest about how I feel and exactly what I'm going through, because without identifying with these things, there could be no real growth. And in denial, you will not grow. So, yeah, and that's all I'm going to say. Peace and love to everyone, and thank you for watching. Bye.